like a banner in the wind, and that once again you shall. No, Joe was a good runner, but didn't run that much, and then later quit running. And Young was an astounding runner because he could have been a fullback, right?
Yeah.
And to see Smith run around like he
I bet Deacon Jones didn't know he was a Mormon either.
Yeah. Who did Brigham Young?
Brigham Young.
He didn't seem that young.
He don't look that young to me. Hey, Deacon's big thing is anytime you like Javon Curse, I remember when he was a rookie, had like, I don't know, teens, sacks in the teens. And we're all just going on. He goes, hey, let's not put the brother in the Hall of Fame just yet, okay? Like you talk about a guy with reverence for the Hall.
Yeah.
You're a Giants fan, but my notes say that you own an ocelot.
Oh, yeah. I believe that I do. Right now, Justin, and just to see that ocelot frisk around the yard, and they're frisky little cats. They're a little vicious later, though, because of the wild bent inside them. A lot of people don't even know what an ocelot is. It's a small
it looks a little like a lemur?
Yeah.
Am I close?
It's sort of spotty. It's like a dinky cheetah.
Oh, so it's nothing like a lemur.
It's a cat. It's a feline.
Really?
Yeah. And they live in like the southwest of Mexico and stuff like that.
You married your wife on Valentine's Day, which I like a lot.
That was in Wikipedia. I didn't, but we celebrate our anniversary on Valentine's Day.
Your podcast, you do it from like New Zealand.
Yeah.
And this is for the listeners of Mohr Stories. If you want to get in on something that's happening, that's good, that you maybe don't know about yet, this is it. I haven't steered you to any bullshit. Burning Love by Ken Marino. I told you, this is funny shit. Go do it. Like, I'm not going to, like, Keaton Simons is a great guitarist. Like, fucking do it. Greg Proops' podcast is so good, and what amazes me about it, oh, hi, kitten. What amazes me about it is, like, you'll go to New Zealand, and it's a full room, and you'll talk about New Zealand and Christchurch, New Zealand, and Captain Cook, and you have knowledge. Like, how much research do you? I hate to sound like a douchey interviewer, but I gotta know. How much interview? How much?
Ask.
How much? Just tell me why.
Yeah.
How much research do you do about a place before you go?
Well, I'd been there for like a week at that point, and then I'd been talking to all the other comics and local people, and I'd read up a little bit, and then of course, if you read the papers and sort of read the what's going on when you're there, you pick up a lot. I just had known a little bit about Captain Cook and stuff like that, and the thing that's so fascinating about New Zealand, aside from everything, is. Auckland is the biggest Polynesian city in the world, not Honolulu. Like, there's more actual Polynesians, Maoris, in Auckland. So there's a flavor of, like, there's Polynesian, there's Maori politicians. They have a Maori TV channel. They're a presence, which they never
Maori,
are.
like M-A-U-R, like the tribe?
M-A-O-R-I. They're like they came in the Middle Ages.
They're the guys that Keitel was friends with in the piano.
Exactly.
With the tattooed faces.
They're the All Blacks. They do the
they do
dance.
the haka before every game.
They do the haka. That's a Maori dance. So when you're in Auckland
Tamura
City,
Morrison is an actor who's Maori.
When you're in Auckland City, you see white people barefoot, pumping gas or walking down the street. Like, people are barefoot, like we're in Hawaii, but like in Hawaii and then. And there's that weird motif in New Zealand where you go into places and people don't have their shoes on. And it's just like you're on this giant island, but it's so big of an island that it's a country, And and you see Maoris with the full tattoos, and one of the major Maori leaders has the insane whole facial tattoos and the bone and the thing and the piercing. And I love that they fought for their rights legally, which is the difference between them and every other group of Aborigines that got wiped out, like in Australia or here or wherever. They almost got wiped out by the white people, and then they fought them physically, and then they legally got back a bunch of their rights until they're an actual force. So when you read about politics in a New Zealand paper, there's a picture of a Maori running again. You know what I mean? Whereas
and they got the weird top hats. Like they have their own like Sergeant Pepper gig going. It seems like.
Yeah.
Am I mistaken? Or is that just from the movie The Piano? That's
in those days they certainly wore them. Not so much now, but they do wear the traditional tattoos.
Please don't ever be afraid to tell me I'm completely wrong.
Their faces and their bodies are heavily tattooed and pierced if they go with the traditional route. Not all of them.
So a guy's running for like prime minister with a complete tattooed face.
Yeah, with a bone in his lip.
And from what I was told by guys like Cliff Curtis, Timuara Morrison, like actual Maori or New Zealand Maori actors, the pastime. You and I, it's baseball and football. They really like to smash people's fucking faces in.
Yeah.
Like more than the Scots.
Way more.
More than anyone.
They're
like
the greatest rugby team, and they won the last championship against
And
France.
I'm talking about like in bars, like
Yeah,
you know.
oh, no, they're
Or if you ever see
violent.
like when once we're warriors, like make
Oh,
the
yeah.
man some eggs, woman.
Yeah.
Like it is a nonstop. Like let's
It's
not
macho,
let's
baby.
let's just vote for the guy because I don't have to kick the shit.
Yeah.
They came to the house and asked me who I was voting for. I had to say Maori.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Uh,
New Zealand's really fun. I mean, like, also for me, you know.
Is it the most beautiful place you've been? I've heard it's other level.
Well, I love Paris probably more than any place, but yeah, it is stunning, and the food is fabulous. And like for me, everything's always about food,
Yeah.
and wine, and then sports. And I didn't know enough to talk about rugby when I was there, which I was ashamed of because they had won a world championship, and it was the
Fuck
biggest.
them. I'm tired of their shit. Any Maori wants to fucking fight me, meet me at the 76 station at Sunset and Pacific Coast
All right,
Highway.
I will, brah. They
Uh-oh.
fucking. They're like Samoans in Hawaii. You so don't want to tangle at any point. Polynesians are amazingly aggressive,
Maybe it's the spam.
as well as lovely, and you know,
Yes.
but they really don't fucking take it.
Scotland, Austin, Minnesota.
Right, Scotland,
Stipal and Minneapolis.
Stipal.
Like you know more about each town, and that's
I try to recognize when I'm there. You know what I mean? Because I always feel like.
you give an homage to the town.
Well, they get right. Someone said the show is a homage and dismissing, right? And that it should be that way. There should only be black and white, right? Because I eulogize people that die. I give homage to places I go. I feel like you have to recognize where you are. So many comics, that, especially from Hollywood, go to places like England. What the fuck? There's a bunch of the faucets are different. You know, like they don't. You know, even though they have a New York accent when they go
Hold
there.
on, I gotta write that down. I just got a new 10 minutes.
Yeah, I just feel
Different
like
faucets in England, eh?
it's important to kind of acknowledge where you are and acknowledge like what they're about a little bit. I'm not doing it to be ingenuous because
No, there's nothing ingenuous about your show. Is what I'm saying.
I don't seduce people. I'm not a seductive kind of comic. I don't go, oh, love me and shit.
Yeah.
I just say this is this, and like Minneapolis was fun because I found that poem by that poet.
Did you fill it? Because that was a big theater. You were nervous about it.
No, I didn't fill it. It was summertime there, and you know how they are in the summer in the Midwest. They
I
don't
just
come out.
did the Midland Theater in Kansas City, and it's a 2,500 seat theater.
How many?
I said, "Did we hit 1,000?" The lady goes, so sort of.
680.
No, it was like 900 something.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's
Right,
1,100.
I did half. I was at
1,500.
400, and I put in like 180.
Attaboy.
Then 340.
I said to the lady, I go, so I guess I won't be back, and she goes, oh no.
No.
And I loved her for just saying it to my face. It was great.
No.
No.
Jay,
that happened
no.
to me in Spokane too.
Yeah,
It was just a horrible
Am I coming back?
non-sell.
No.
He goes, oh no. I go, I guess I'm not coming back. He goes, no.
No. We got no.
He
You're-
laughed about it.
Yeah.
I got,
Well, at
Fio-
least they're honest.
I got Fiona Apple next week. What do I need some comic that doesn't fill the room for?
Right. I got someone who's going to sell 2,500 tickets when I put the ad in the paper.
And he's never going to talk about diapers
Yeah. Never. No.
or the
right?
faucets in
Right.
England being different.
No. It's hard drawing in the summer in the Midwest because if it's nice out, they don't want to go out. They just don't want to go out because they don't. You know, you go there in the winter and they fucking come out in numbers because they don't give a shit. In California, if it rains 2 fucking drops, you have to cancel your show and shit. You know.
You're at Bar Lubitsch a lot.
I'm at Lubitsch, and Lubitsch is good fun. It's on Santa Monica, and that little back room. You ever go back there?
I don't know where it is. Where is it on the west side?
You know where the pleasure chest is on Santa Monica?
That's not on the west side at all. That's by
It's right in
Highlandish.
WeHo.
yeah,
It's kind of near Warner Brothers Studios,
Yeah.
where the old Warner Brothers is.
yeah. You
Fat Burger. It's near that neighborhood.
but I buy a fat burger when I'm way out west.
Hold it now.
Your show I like. You had a great episode. You seemed to. It was weird to me because there was like 3 episodes all sort of like town to town, not like Denver, Salt
Yeah.
Lake, Brea. It was like Bellevue, Seattle. Like you were all
Yeah.
in this where everyone hated the town next to it.
Yeah.
So you were able to like get the balls rolling
Yeah.
a little quicker with their hatred for whoever their neighbor was. But you played one of my favorite games I've ever heard on a podcast. Most fuckable bands, most unfuckable bands.
Yeah. That was an awesome question sent to me.
And in Portland, they said the Cramps. And you started to go, yeah, Lux Interior is a real freaky dude. And they're like, no. Fuckable.
Yeah. Right.
And you had to do a K turn.
yeah.
I heard your gears grind.
Yeah,
You go,
yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're saying the Cramps are the most fuckable?
Yeah.
Like, it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And I like that game. But you said, I disagreed with a few. Tom Waits, they liked.
Yeah. They love Tom
They
Waits.
said Tom
As
Waits
a
was-
fuckable band, and you think, okay, well, in
And
an
then you
intellectual
said-
sense.
Who did you say was Duran Duran was unfuckable.
Was fuckable.
Oh, they were fuckable.
Yeah, yeah.
John Taylor from Duran Duran
I think
makes up
Princess
for anyone
Di,
ugly.
Yeah, yeah. Princess Di, I think John Taylor got with. And,
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I saw him at Willowbrook Mall as a kid in Wayne,
Yeah.
New Jersey, and he's like 6'6". He's
He's really tall. Yeah.
and really handsome and he had
Yeah.
like the leather pants and he was
Oh, yeah.
stick thin. And I remember going like, this has to be a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I just followed him around like Barnes and Noble
Yeah,
over
right,
Ray's
right.
Pizza, and then somebody goes, "That's John Taylor from Duran Duran." I'm
Yeah.
like, I know.
Yeah.
I was like 13,
Yeah,
like
I know.
please.
Yeah.
That's so 2000 and late.
Yeah. I went to a concert. I met them and they couldn't have been nicer. They're like the most gracious people in the entire universe. I never bought a record by them.
I bought Rio.
Oh, did you buy Rio?
Had to.
The with the Nagel cover.
Hey
and
now.
Yeah. Look at that.
on
Cinderella run
TV.
you down.
I would have bought Girls on Film if I was old enough.
Girls on Film.
I got your picture.
Yeah, yeah. That
Great
one had a
one.
lot of sexy chicks in it. Their
Yeah.
videos were.
Riding men on piggyback, like it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
an equine themed
Oh,
almost.
yeah, yeah. The thing when I saw the concert was I knew every song. And
Yeah.
I was just like, really? Because one song, next song, in an ordinary world. I'm like, oh, fuck, I remember that one.
Wild boys.
Yeah. And they
You're
did
like,
the,
yeah.
they did the View to a Kill theme. Was dance into the fire, you know.
Oh, Elvis Costello was unfuckable.
I thought
And
he was.
I always thought he was like a super cool, like he's the original punk. Not
Well,
the original.
when I
not
was a
the
teenager,
let me back up.
right.
Not the original punk, but certainly not the tip of the spear, but on it.
When I was a teenager, he gave me Hope to Carry On. There was no rock stars with glasses that
Did you
wore
like
a little
his show?
that wore a little skinny tie. And for me, I was like, ooh.
Oh my God, skinny ties and glasses. This
And
is my
he's
guy.
angry. Like all of a sudden, I had an in into the world. I could be part of like things because
Does that help you get into stand up? Not obviously not Elvis
Yeah,
Costello
it
booking
did in
you
a
gigs.
way. I really feel like the impulse to do stand up is there when you're young, and then the other stand ups you love. But I'm sure you are as well. As influenced by movies and books as I am as by stand up
Yeah.
in my stand up, and someone like Elvis Costello in 1977, 78, when he was angry and it gave me, or Woody Allen even in those days, like it was okay to be that person. It was okay to be smart and angry and not have to be a big dude or
We
whatever.
need the eggs.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you tried having them committed?
Like the in Egyptic concept.
We need-
I think the two
It
funniest
gives
jokes
good meeting, you know.
when he says she says there's too much emphasis placed on the orgasm, and he says, who said that? Was it somebody? I can't remember that line. No, I think it was Leopold and Loeb, and like that I think might be the funniest joke of all time.
Annie Hall gets passed over a lot as like greatest of all. Not guys like you and I, but like Woody Allen was so far ahead of like them having sex and him leaving his body and sitting next
Yeah,
to himself
yeah.
on the bed. Like, what am I doing? dude?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Like that was so like nobody was doing that
Nah,
shit.
you've got my body. What else do you want? Do you know where my dope is? And like,
I don't want to smoke
Yeah,
any
yeah.
marijuana. I once hijacked an elevator to Cuba. You know? Sort of. And then Tony Roberts
Yeah,
keeps
yeah.
calling him Max.
Yeah,
But that's
Max.
That's
You know
Tony
what, you
Roberts.
interrupted me. I was with two 16-year-old twins. Can you imagine the mathematical possibilities?
But wasn't that Tony Roberts' name in the movie?
Yeah, they were both called Max.
But he
Even
called
though Alvy,
Woody
he called
Alvy,
Max.
and
Yeah.
he just called him his
They
own
were neither
name.
named Max. They
It's
called
too
each
bizarre
other
for
Max,
words.
which made it
Max.
great. Like
Yeah.
that's writing.
So I wanted to play with you. We go
fuckable bands?
unfuckable bands.
Okay.
But I wanted to go underrated, overrated because you gave Journey a hard time, and I don't think
I'm
they're-
from San Francisco. That's why I'm hard on them.
I don't think they're underrated. I think they just. I would never say they're underrated because of the
No.
amount of shit they've sold and the amount of Journey T-shirts I see. And then when it comes full circle, like I'm wearing this because I'm ironic. It's my
Right.
Journey. No, you're wearing it because they're fucking great.
Yeah.
And Open Arms comes on, you know every word because
Yeah.
it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And Steve Perry is way better than the bizarre Filipino singing lead singer for fucking
Isn't that
Journey.
strange?
He sounds just.
And there was an interim one before the Filipino because I was in Minneapolis, and the two people who drove me around went, we went to see Journey, and I said, was it with the new guy? And they went, no, it was the guy before the Filipino. And it was like they found two guys who could sing like Steve Perry, apparently, which is beyond.
And then Steve Perry's like, I'm tapping out a Journey, and we all think he's insane. And then he goes, should have been gone.
Yeah.
And drops Oh Sherry.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just goes away.
And
I'm
was
good.
at the 2010 World Series because that was our theme song that year, the old Just a Small Town Girl.
Or they can say, oh, Sherry.
Yeah, no, sadly, O'Sherry wasn't.
That would've
I
been
give them
great.
shit because they were in Santana, and then when they first started, their first couple albums before they had Steve Perry, they were like this kind of
Wait, who was
metal
in
band.
Santana? Who was in Santana?
Greg Raleigh, the keyboard player, and Neil Schon, the guitar player.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Santana's band.
And then they went and became Journey. And I think Neil sang. I can't remember who sang on the first few records. And they were like more of a heavy metal band when Montrose, who I also eulogized on the show only because I skipped Ronnie Montrose twice in concert. I left before he came on and REO Speedwagon I left twice before they came on.
That's fine.
I think you have to.
But The Foreigner too is a band that you don't seem to like.
And then I went and saw them and I wept because they have the new singer, right? Lou's gone.